our young players, our returning guys, that mix have worked extremely hard. And you add in that summer workout to our 10-day mini camp that we were able to have in August, to now when we had our group workouts, to our team workouts now, we're a different ball club. That doesn't mean that we've arrived. That doesn't mean we're ready to step out in the court and compete in the MEC. But it does mean that we've got an opportunity this year to compete if we can continue to improve. And I've really liked what I've been able to see so far. Yeah, I think, with our, being able to get the job in April, one of the big question marks for us as a staff was, what kind of talent are we going to be able to bring in so late in the process? But I knew that when I had the opportunity to take over here at Central Michigan, that the state of Michigan was ripe with talent and very well coached young men. And we were fortunate that this year, whether it's that way every year, there was some very good quality players, some very good quality kids right from the state of Michigan and the surrounding area. And so you feel always when you get commitments or you get kids to sign, you always like the guys you're going to sign, or else you wouldn't sign them. But we've been very impressed with the group as a whole, and certain guys individually, about how good they can not only become, but how good they're going to be as freshmen or as first-year players. DeAndre Buckley, for one, is still one of those players that we're waiting to see how good he's going to be. He's had some injury problems, but he's had great rehab, and we feel like he could be an important part of this year's ball club, even though he hasn't had the amount of reps or time on the court. A couple other guys that I would mention in Chris Fowler, who had been at Country Day, then down to IMG at the point guard position, and Kyle Randall. I think when you look at those two players, we knew we were going to have trouble being able to bring in the size and strength that a lot of times the bigger players go earlier in the recruiting process, but that we need point guards. We needed to be able to come in and to be able to compete this year. We needed guys that could handle the ball, that could lead the team, and I think those two men have definitely exceeded even my high expectations of them so far. I think our team, not only do I want to play an up-tempo style, an up-tempo system, offensively and defensively, but our team has been built for that. We don't have the players that would play in a 40 or 50-point game and slow down. We've got guys that can push the ball. All of our guys can run. All of our guys can shoot, and not just shoot from inside or from the free throw line, but we're going to be a really good three-point shooting team. Yeah, I think the opportunity for a basketball coach to be able to take a step back and be in broadcasting. I mean, you've seen quite a few coaches go that route, for one reason or another. And I think what it allowed me to do was really evaluate everything that we do, offensively, defensively, practice plans, strategy-wise, by not only reflecting on what we did, but looking at other programs, being able to be at those practices, and maybe change your overall concept of what you're doing, but you pick up a little thing there, here, a little thing there, and get a chance to really try to improve as a coach. And you've got to improve as a coach or whatever you do, each day, each year, and I think that time was invaluable for me. I've tried not to watch much game tape from last year. I think, one of the things is that, from last year's team to this year's team, we have very few returning players. And the returning players that we have were not playing that much. And I wanted to try in my mind to be as open-minded as I could with our new players and returning players about where I saw them, and give them an opportunity when we got on the court. Hey, they decided on the court, and not, well, I come in and thinking they're a certain position or they're going to play so many minutes. So I've tried to stay away from that. And yet I think that when I saw them, when I came in here, we had a couple workouts in last year's school year. I think the ability to play harder, the ability to run harder, to rebound harder, to defend harder, and know that we're going to rotate players in quicker than a lot of other teams because of the speed. So you've got to learn not to pace yourself, and you've got to learn in day one, hey, that might mean one or two times down the court and you're subbing in. And to be able to, if you go that hard, now you're able to pick the speed up. Now we're able to rotate more guys. And then as you get your wind and understand how to play that hard, now you can go from a player or two at a time to a minute or two at a time, knowing then your best players you would like, by the time they're able to have that kind of consistency, your best player might be on the court the whole game, but he's not pacing himself. He's learned early on how to be able to go like the game's on the line each and every possession. We're still, as a team, they're trying to develop that identity. They're trying to live up to what we have as coaches and what we have established as a program, what we want our identity to be. What we want our identity to be as fans come to McGurk, our students, our supporters, our season ticket holders. I want them to leave the arena knowing that Central Michigan basketball team didn't get outworked, that we were the team that played harder, that we were the team diving on the floor, we were the team running the court harder, we were the team that looked like they wanted to win more. And then offensively, defensively, we want to be an up-tempo style basketball team. We want to be a team that gets to the free throw line, that gets to the three-point line, and keeps the other team off of both. So I think the hard work and yet the versatile players in our program combined with, most importantly, we want the character of our team to be top. We want to have the best GPA of the basketball teams in the MAC. We want to be ranked in the country academically. We want these young men, as they graduate, to get great jobs, whatever they want to do after basketball. And then that's going to be our best recruiting for our program down the line, is say, hey, look at so-and-so, look what he was able to do after graduation. And I think those things, when you put the academic piece, because I don't think you're going to be successful on the court unless you've got high character young men in the program. And I think that's a testament, again, to the assistants to be able to find these young men and to be able to bring them to Central Michigan and continue to do so. And it's also, an attribute of these guys. When you get a chance to meet our players, they're high character young men. And I think especially as the young players come in and they have that part to them, they've got a chance to be able to become a lot better basketball player than they are, because they're the guys that are taking care of business, they're doing well academically, they're staying out of trouble, they're in the gym, they're in study table, they're doing those type of things. I think you're going to come back in a year or two and look at the young men that were freshmen this year and say, okay, wow, did they really improve? Well, they improved because of their character and what they were able to be about when they got here.
Coach, you have a very active presence on Twitter. You communicate a lot through there. And what is the reason behind that? Is it recruiting, community engagement, anything in particular?
Yeah, Twitter handle at Coach Keno Davis. I think what's important for us is, really social media has been around a few years now, but we don't really know as coaches how important that is to us. And I think it's most coaches that dismiss it as a tool are making a mistake, because the young man you might be recruiting might come and visit your school because he follows you on Twitter or follows you on Facebook or something that's small. That's not going to be every student athlete that you recruit, but that's going to be maybe the one guy that could be the difference maker of making yourself and also ran in the conference to be in an all-tournament team. The other thing, I think it's important for us to be able to connect to our fans and to our students. For us to be real successful here, to be in the NCAA tournament, to win conference championships, we can't do it with our talent alone, and we can't do it on waiting for us to win games to fill McGurk. We have to fill McGurk before we win the conference championships, knowing that if that place is full, we're going to win a couple more games a year. If we can win a couple more games a year, then that could be from 18 to 20 wins, or 19 to 21, or a losing season to a winning season and really get the ball rolling. So we're trying to use everything we can to be able to connect with our fan base, to connect with our students, and of course to connect with our recruitable student athletes down the future. And social media is just one avenue that we're using.